Good morning, people, and welcome to Wednesday's Talking Reds in association with Tokyo Time. My name is Mo Stewart. As you probably know, this is Mr. Rob Gutmann sitting alongside me.
Hi, Mo.
Hi, mate. You good?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm really good. I mean, it's match day, so obviously we're gonna have
the happiest day of all days.
It is. It's like a Christmas every week. Because two Christmases a week.
I know.
And
I'm
obviously,
a pig in shit at the moment.
Is that what that smell is?
Oh, very good.
Right, okay, thank you.
Nice, nice body, Mo.
We've got starters who needs to go on here. That's the way I like to do things. Obviously, today's game is against Chelsea. It's the League Cup game before the league game happening on Saturday. So some people have called it a bit of a phony war. Now, Neil and Craig went through what they suspect the team was going to be yesterday on the show, and they also dealt with the news that Mignolet is definitely going to be in there. So we won't need to go over that again quite so much, but if you could see what Craig was just doing in the background, you'd know exactly how he feels about it. But some new news that has come out since then, a little extra nugget delivered by Chris Bascom from the Telegraph, that he confirms that Fabinho and Dominic Solanke will both be starting.
Oh, did you confirm Fabinho as well?
We did confirm Fabinho as well.
Interesting.
Yes.
We could have guessed that, but still interesting.
Well, it's good to know. I think there were a lot of people who were getting quite scared for the lad, so I think that's probably
why. Especially his missus, yeah. Very quiet on social media after a very bold start.
Yeah,
we're rooting for you, Rebecca.
Oh God, that is awful. I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah, she's great.
But yeah, she's going to get to see her man perform tonight, and I hope so are we, hopefully. And I want to go on about the Solanke news, because that's kind of the real surprising element, or more surprising element to it, because I think most people have suggested Shaqiri and Sturridge were going to play together.
What's your phone doing there?
My phone's ringing. My phone's literally ringing in the show right now. But that's okay.
We're professionals. We can cope with this. It's a minor setback.
Yeah, anyone who can guess what that tune is, by the way, I'm going to give you a fiver. No, I'm not going to give you a fiver.
Well, all of them.
All of them. It was like
something's going to have 200,000 subscribers.
I'm telling you, if anyone can actually name it from those 2 seconds, you've done well. Anyway, I'm going to put it on silent now.
We digress.
So talk about Solanke while I do all
Solanke, I didn't think he was going to make the cut because I thought he'd play one of the front three, and I think Shaqiri and Sturridge, barring any late niggles in training, are nailed on to start. They almost contractually are obliged to start at this stage, and I think Klopp. I think he said to Shaqiri at half-time in hauling him off, it's not your fault, mate, and you're definitely starting the next one. Daniel, too, has more than earned his start. But because Daniel's a central striker of sorts these days, it makes the Solanke thing, as you said, a touch surprising. Origi isn't available yet, Klopp said in his press conference. Solanke and Firmino start together up front against Brighton at the tail end of last season in a formation I cannot recall. The question is, how do they? You can see where Shaqiri plays. He plays out wide or in a number 10 type of role, but Daniel's played a number 10 type of role. He's
played more withdrawn. I think when he hasn't got to be the most focal point and do the kind of forward pressing that you do in the number 9 position, if he's got Solanke to do that for him, he probably can be more withdrawn and more of a link man. I kind of like the idea of potentially having Solanke furthest forward and have Sturridge and Shaqiri buzzing around him. I think that might work quite well.
Yeah, I do too. I also wonder whether the fact that it's Chelsea is a small extra bit of motivation for Solanke. I mean, it's his parent club, wasn't it, effectively? Yeah. I think, he left them, they were sore about it. He left to play more football. He hasn't played more football, really, I don't think. So there's something to prove to everyone all around. I think he's proving points everywhere, Dominic, or we hope you are.
Yeah, and motivation is a really important point, actually, because there's been a lot of talk from Klopp recently about how he wants to take this competition seriously. He doesn't want anyone to think that we're not trying to win it, we're trying to win them all. But obviously, when people see a lot of changes, their mind instantly goes to the fact, well, obviously he's not taking it seriously. But let's actually think about the psychology of this for a minute, because essentially, when you're playing the players who haven't been playing a lot recently, the guys who aren't expecting to be in the first team, let's say, if you're giving them this Carabao Cup game, you're basically saying, look, this competition is going to be your competition. It's up to you how many games you play this season, by how many of these games you win. So do you want someone who's going to be motivated to make sure they're in the next round, or do you want the first team who's going to be potentially wanting to avoid injury for Saturday?
Yeah, I've been looking at some of the selections in the week, and even the anticipated Chelsea one, and it's dawning on me is this is no longer becoming a competition where you blood the kids. It's a competition where you give game time to first teamers who aren't getting game time. It almost becomes like, say, you think of Barca a couple of years back, where is it Ter Stegen and Bravo were interchanging between
the different
competitions. it almost feels a bit like this. I was looking at Chelsea's potential midfield three. It's Ross Barkley, Drinkwater, and Cesc Fabregas. There's no slouches there. There's no kids there. You know, that's a first team. Or I don't know who comes up front. Maybe Morata comes in for Giroud.
I expect Morata to play, considering the form or the funk he's been in and how good Giroud's been in first team, and also Giroud actually played really well against us last season. So,
and they can bring in defence people like Cahill, Zappacosta, who else was escaping? Christensen. Is it Rudiger? Maybe not. He's been getting a game first year.
Rudiger, I think, might have a little knock. I think there might be, because he has been playing a lot recently. Rudiger, because he played Europa League and the last league game.
So Chelsea, it's going to be a fierce team. I mean, the only thing, Willian probably starts as well. I mean, just hope, as long as Hazard doesn't start, I think we'll be slightly relieved.
I'm beginning to believe Hazard's going to be in the squad, but not the team. Like, trying to read between the lines of some of the things Sarri said, but you're right. I think there's both teams going to be trying to strike the balance between a good team and, like you say, giving minutes to those who need it and who will be needed further on in the season.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a proper full-blooded contest, as you said, for people who need real points to prove, who think, actually, I could be in Saturday's team if I do okay. I'm not a kid who's going to drop straight out. And as you said, the competition buys them more game time. I mean, Klopp said yesterday in his press conference, he said, I will not make the maximum changes, I will not make the minimum changes, or whatever. So I thought I was struggling sort of wrestling with what that actually means. I actually think he's going to be a lot closer to maximum than minimum, because he can, and Solanke may be the most junior member of that team. There's an outside chance. I think Curtis Jones makes it. I think he'll make the bench, but otherwise, I think the rest of the team begins to pick itself, doesn't it?
Now, you are of the opinion that Lovren might not come straight back in, aren't you?
Yeah. I think he might not. Klopp was stressing how he's in a good moment, he's in a good way, 4 solid sessions. Having said that, I think Joe Gomez doesn't start at the weekend, just gone, for a reason. I think he anticipated putting Gomez and Matip in together. I think if Liverpool are in a good place in the game, or must, I think he wouldn't mind putting Lovren in. That's even an outside chance. Let me just throw this out there. He goes with 3 at the back. I don't know. Lovren, Matip, because there you get a bit of extra security to Lovren in trying to bed himself back in. Doubt that, but...
I mean... There is the idea of this, though, isn't there? With it being, like I say, a bit of a phony war before the league game.
Yeah.
But either manager might try and do something a little bit funky, even if it's just to throw the opposition off.
Yeah, I think that's eminently possible. Having said that, if you ask me to bet on it, I will be betting on it. I go. Of course you will. Yeah, of course it will be, and it won't be on Liverpool. My compo bet. It's 4-3-3. The midfield 3, I think we said Fabinho. Well, Chris Bascom says Fabinho, and we trust Chris. So Fabinho, Naby's left out of the weekend. Naby's a shoe-in for this.
I think so too.
The third place, my hunch is, I think yours as well, is James Milner, because James Milner isn't picked to start, although he comes on at half-time against Southampton. So I'd say that potentially very strong midfield is the platform on which Klopp will try and base a win. And I think it'd be a nice base for the likes of Shaqiri to spring from, for Daniel to link play, and for Solanke to try and do some running in from behind.
Sounds like a team that can go out and win this football match, definitely.
Yeah, you look at the full-back positions, which have been key at the beginning of the season. Kleiny's a solid pro, and won't stretch Chelsea going forward, but hopefully gives a bit of security coming the other way when they come at us. Moreno, I think Albi showed last season, when he'd been written off, that's possibly when he's at his most dangerous, in a good sense.
That is actually quite true.
So, although most people groan when they see his name on a team sheet, I'm expecting him to do okay tonight.
I think he can. He's matured to a point where you can hope for a decent level of performance. It's not a guarantee that he's going to do something stupid every game.
No, it's not guaranteed.
No,
Which, the greatest damn with throwing praise.
It was, though.
There was a point.
There was a point when that was the case. Would I want him to have to play 6-7 straight? Probably not. But in this situation, I think he can do quite well. Specifically, if Chelsea do decide to put one of their young'uns like a Hudson-Odoi out there as well. So I think that would be quite a decent little battle there.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of talk that he is a likely starter, isn't there? Yeah.
And he does look a find.
Does he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I wouldn't mind us snatching him away as well, you know. that Chelsea to Liverpool pathway is quite worn these days. Maybe we can just find a little tunnel and slip.
I've got a sneaky feeling this one could be one from the bench tonight.
You reckon?
Because as you said, Hazard will be held back, but in the squad. I'd be surprised if at least 2 of our big front 3 aren't on the bench. He may give one of them the night off, so go and kick back and watch us on TV. I think at least 2 would be on as a break glass.
Well, I mean, Mo's had all that travel to the world's shittest FIFA awards last night.
Did he? Where was that based?
It was somewhere else. Well, it wasn't in England.
It's bound to be Switzerland, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's always Switzerland. Oh, so they could give Mo the night off, couldn't they?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, really.
Yeah.
Because obviously, again, Chelsea connection. He's good. We want to get the best out of him on Saturday, I think. So.
Yes, and he was a real return to form by him on Saturday, and not just the goal. Thought he played really well. But
agreed. Okay, so that's all about tonight. There will be loads of post-match products coming out. We've got the pink, obviously, got the post-match pint, in which I will also be making an appearance. So I'm not going to do any predictions on this show, just in case I make look like a dickhead in a few hours' time.
What do you have after? Do you have a pint after a game? Would you have I think you're more sophisticated than that.
It all depends on the result, mate.
It does.
Like, it genuinely, if it's all bets are off, we're staying out till the morning, then yes, pints are in. But otherwise, cider, rum, something like that. You know, it might seem
tequila shooters.
Yeah, but like vodka, Ribena, you know, all those kind of things are in the mix.
The post-match alcohol imbibement show. Yeah, and these are all available on our subscription service, Tour Player. /subscription, AnfieldWrap.com/subscriptions, I've been told to say by Craig. Yeah, that's the one.
Really
yeah,
well.
I did great. That's cool. It was seamless. Yeah, for God's sake, go on it.
Speaking of seamless, I think since we're in this vibe, it's probably a good time to interject a little message from our sponsors.
Tokyo Time is sponsoring Talking Reds for Wednesdays for the foreseeable future, which were made up about. They're a Liverpool company. They're trying to do things differently. They're trying to do things better, a bit like the Anfield Wrap. And so they've set up only recently, but already got a lot of traction for kind of what they want to do. They helped us out in America. They gave us hats to wear over there, and very much needed to wear in that bacon sun next to the pitch, watching the Liverpool boys train. So yeah, since then they've come in. They've asked us about doing something a little bit more formal. So that's what we're going to do. So they're going to be sponsoring Wednesdays on the Talking Reds for the foreseeable future. If you're into your baseball caps, you're into your street style, or you know anyone else who is, or you're looking for presents to buy for people, do check out their website. It's tokyotime.co.uk, or follow them on Instagram. They've got loads of styles, something for everyone, and the fit is really, really good. So yeah, cheers to the boys for supporting us. They're supporting us, so do try and support them. tokyotime.co.uk.
Thanks to Tokyo Time for their lovely sponsorship, and thanks to John for that little message. Now, going back to last night's football, I wasn't watching Manchester United because it's Manchester United. I was actually watching Fiorentina against Inter, which is actually a really good game. Go check it out if you get a chance. But when looking at social media this morning, they might.
There's some people are weird like you. Oh, what have I said? Sorry, Mo. Not weird. Not weird, just thorough and interested in a wide range of football and sports from around the globe. Come on. But normal people watching Man U because they wanted to see them slip on the banana skin, they so duly did.
They so duly did, and it was all thanks to one of our own, Mr. Harry Wilson.
Harold.
Oh, sorry. Mike's gone.
Just keep talking. Yeah, Harry Wilson, who I think probably was christened Harry rather than Harold, and that's a bone of contention for me. But see, I've kept talking there.
Yeah, that was great.
Mo, interestingly, before we get stuck into the game, pointed out how he does look like a young Fernando Torres.
He looks ridiculously like a young Fernando Torres. So if you look at the goal celebration, obviously it gives it the 5 fingers, for which he is now a hero. But even in that kind of white...
Oh, did he? I'm funny.
Oh, yeah, he did. Sorry, yeah. And he did the 5 fingers, he did the knee slide. But the hair, the kind of the facial structure...
The mild rosacea. This is the reddening of the, that's what the medical term is, over-reddening of the cheek, looking like he's blushing at all times. But it's lovely, it's a lovely touch, Harry.
Yes.
You deserved your moment last night. I thought he was great. He's stepping up a level, that boy.
I can't wait to see him back, because he had a little bit of an injury trouble, that's why he hadn't been playing a lot for Derby, but I believe that's now 2 goals in 2 games for them. He scored at the weekend against Brentford.
It's a peach of a free kick, that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, as much as we say he looks like Torres, I don't remember Torres doing that too often. That was more like a Aurelio-esque, let's say. But
I think there's an Adam Lallana type future for
you reckon?
Yeah, I do. I think he's a pressing number 8. I don't think he's quite got the pace to be a front 3 player. Mm-hmm. He's certainly got the goals to be a front 3 player, but he's got the predatory instinct and the finishing ability to be a goal-scoring number 8, I think. Will it be with Liverpool? I'd like to think we give him a real go.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know if we have a recall at Christmas clause or one of those, but it was, yes, we haven't. I was thinking, have we ever had a loanee who's come back and done bits? Apart from it's sustained. Jordan I was the closest.
He was the closest. I mean, he was the only one I can think of who we recalled because he was so good on loan.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's pulling up trees. We need to stay in our team now. Whether or not that and put any extra pressure on him, I don't know. It's hard to tell. We'd have to ask him that.
Other sides have had people. I mean, somebody was listing something the other day. Like Jesse Lingard goes out on loan. Harry Kane,
it's probably the best example.
Yeah, there are people who've gone. We haven't had a success story yet, so it'd be nice for it to be here. But boy, did he put a marker down last night.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly bought himself a bit of time to and a bit of a grace with any Liverpool fans should he get a chance, definitely. But it's an interesting the comparison as well with, obviously, we were talking about Solanke earlier. It's like Solanke's not really competing with Firmino as Sturridge for place in the team, but he may well be competing with Harry Wilson in 12 months' time. So it'll be really interesting to see, because obviously the grand stage of Old Trafford like that, to make that kind of performance, is really going to stick in people's minds. So it'll be interesting to see how Don plays tonight.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Can we stay on the United game though? Because it was endless comedy.
Well, we haven't even covered the whole Pogba business of the fact that Jose had to make the unprecedented step of saying that he's no longer the second captain because of attitude problems.
Oh, did he say that? He's demoted him?
He's demoted him because apparently because he was saying that they should have attacked more against Wolves.
Yeah, I said
and
those
then
quotes.
He said, "Don't ask me why. I'm just a player." In other words, saying they were told not to attack more, and Jose didn't like that, and he's decided to demote him. But then he didn't play. He wasn't in the squad last night, and then they didn't really do that well without him.
It'd be great if he left them in January, although you think he's so disruptive as it is, maybe he should stay. What's nice about Man U, I don't want to tempt fate, because we could have a terrible week ahead and they could laugh at us, such is the nature of football. But I like it when I've already started seeing the conversations on social media. Goes, do you want Jose to stay or go? If he stays, they will be shit. If he goes, they might be shitter.
Well, there's always
quote the song.
There's always the fear, though, isn't there? In a similar way to what Chelsea have been like in recent seasons, when they're on a bad run, you kind of don't want the manager to leave in case someone goes in and sorts them out, because they are still decent players there.
Yeah, you don't want to bounce.
No, you don't want to bounce. You don't want someone to go, well, obviously this just needs this, and this to move there, but voila, you've got a football team.
Like Sarri's done more or less.
Well, yeah.
I mean, not to be critical of their other very good manager, but yeah, he has to a good degree.
I think the thing with Sarri as well is that he's got his lieutenant in there, in Jorginho, straight away, and he's kind of the one leading them all around, and he's got respect of the team, and it's easy. For some reason it's really easy in your first season as Chelsea manager, and it gets really hard after that.
What is it? Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Because they all remember their good players. That's the trouble. Chelsea's squad is awesome, and when the speculation of what their second team, which will turn up tonight, will be, you go, man, that's a deep squad. That is a deep squad full of interesting players. So they just need this motivation reboot. They almost need to sack a manager every 2 years, don't they? Actually, it's just Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard is one of the top 3 or 4 in Europe. He's a very important player.
He is, and I think Sarri knew that if he was able to get Hazard flying again, then that would buy him the time to do all of the other things he wants to do.
Hazard is down to 1 year left at the end of this season, isn't he?
Yeah, he didn't re-sign.
They are really going to be under pressure to sell in January, because if they don't, they're not going to get more than 60 million for him at the end of the season.
I mean, could they convince him to re-sign though?
No, I don't think so. Not if Madrid come in hard and heavy. He wants to go to Madrid. I think he decided to knuckle down on the off chance because he knew the worst case scenario, Chelsea have to sell him within a year. I think that's why he didn't make a massive song and dance about it. He all but went public saying I want to sign for Real Madrid. Yeah. I think that will be very, very good for the rest of us in the Premier League when he packs his bags up to sunny Spain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember spending years waiting for David De Gea to do the same, and he's still fucking here. So let's not waste any time and energy.
You're right.
Okay. Speaking of not
Reds are good enough.
Yeah, let's not waste any more time and energy. Let's talk about good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, some good things that are happening. We've got some more shows coming out. We've got, obviously, I've mentioned earlier, we're having the post-match pint and the pink from the game tonight, but from the game at Southampton, we've got the second look video, which has just come out. And on our actual podcast Tour Player website, we've got What We Call History show coming out, which is always good. I always like those shows.
I'm on that, aren't I? I usually am, anyway. Yeah, if it's one of the good ones, I'm definitely on it. So
You're asking me.
Yeah, you don't
show,
listen to it.
I don't know.
AnfieldRap.com/subscribe.
We'll find out. You never know. He might be on it. He might not.
Craig's punching the air in the background.
A couple more Anfield Rap style notices. I wanted to give another shout out for anyone who's going to the match tonight. The Red All Over the Land fanzine is going to be out and about there. It's always a good read. It's only £2 and you won't regret getting it. These kind of things, we need to help them survive. Yeah. And also something else that we're doing, we've got another live show coming up ahead of the Cardiff game. We're going to be down in Canesbury Village. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing there. Maybe some kind
drinking?
Well, yeah, obviously drinking. Maybe we can concoct some kind of like challenge Annika style challenge for Gibbo to do, like, you know.
Gibbo wear a dress or women's underwear, things like that.
Well, I mean, I think the challenge Annika yellow jumpsuit, that would be perfect.
Oh yeah, that would actually be. Yeah, we're actually having invasive thoughts now.
It would stop him taking his top off, because I mean, if he's taking his top off, he's taking everything off, and I think even that's beyond him at like 12:30 in the afternoon.
He's a dirty boy.
So yeah, come down and see whatever it is that Gibbo's going to get arrested for. October 27th, tickets are available.
That's what we're pushing. This is where the money is. Come on, kids, pay up.
Yeah, he has no idea about any of this, poor bastard.
Naked Gibbo.
Right, we should probably pause it now.
Yeah, I think we should.
We've done a good job today. Yeah. We've set everything up. We've got you all excited about the game against Chelsea.
Very excited.
And then hopefully Kopi and Robbo tomorrow will be able to tell you about exactly how we won it. So I'll see you then.